Okay, we're going to work on the Jabberwocky dimensional analysis problem. It was taken from the nonsense words from the poem Jabberwocky. So you start out with what you know, and you know that you have 5 frumious Bandersnatches, and we're going to abbreviate that to FB, and you can see the abbreviations for the other words up at the top. That's just so we don't have to write those big long words again. So the first step is to start with what you know with 1. So we know we have 5 FB over 1. Now we know that we want to get to Jabberwocks. So this is going to take many steps because there's not a direct correlation. So let's change our FBs to Tugglywood, because we have the statement, in each Tugglywood there is one frumious Bandersnatch. So we're going to take it times our conversion factor. We know we want FBs on top, and we said that we were going to convert them to TWs. And then if we look back to our statement, it says that 1 TWs equals 1 FBs. And you're probably thinking, well, what the heck? Why didn't I just directly change it? Well, again, you got to show your thinking on changing units in science. So get rid of the FBs. Now we have TWs, and I want to get rid of the TWs, and let's change them to tum-tum trees. So we have the first statement that says there are 20 tum-tum trees in the Tugglywood. So we know we want Tugglywood on the bottom, and we know we want tum-tum trees on the top. So we look back to our statement, we're going to put in what number goes with what one. And so there are 20 tum-tum trees for 1 Tugglywood. So then Tugglywood unit cancels out. So now we're going to change the tum-tum trees to jub-jub birds. So our statement says there are 2 jub-jub birds in 200 tum-tum trees. So we know we want tum-tum trees on the bottom, and we know that we want jub-jub birds on the top. We look back to our statement, we're going to put in our numbers, and there are 2 jub-jub birds to every 200 tum-tum trees. And yes, you could simplify that to 1 over 100, but let's leave it the way it is up there. Okay, so our tum-tum trees disappear, and then we're left with jub-jub birds. And let's change the jub-jub birds to slithly toes. So we know we want the jub-jub birds on the bottom, and we know we want the slithly toes on the top. And so we go back to our statement. Let's see, where did it go? I lost it. I can't find it. Oh, on the bottom statement, there are 5 jub birds per 1 slithly toe. So we have 1 and 5. So then this disappears, and we have our slithy toes. Okay, so let's change our slithy toes to Borogrove. And you're probably thinking, well, how would I figure this out? Well, you got to go through the process, maybe starting by backwards and saying, okay, I can change Jabberwocks to this, and then this to this, and then this to this to get to frumious Bandersnatches, or you can just write it out as you go. So we're going to change our STs to BGs, and so BGs are the Borogrove. So we look for a statement that has BGs and STs in it, and its third statement, there are 5 slithy toes in 2 Borogroves. So 5 to 2 Borogroves. So that gets rid of the slithly toes. Okay, so So I'm going to continue this down. I ran out of. Give me just a second. Okay, so then we're going to change our borogroves to mome rafts. So there, we're going to take that times, we want borogroves on the bottom, and we want our mome rafts on the top. And in our statement that has those together, it says there are 200 mome rafts in each borogrove. So there's 200 to 1 borogrove. So then we get rid of borogrove. And we're not quite there yet. And now we're going to look and see, can we finally get to Jabberwocky? And the question is, can we find Jabberwocky? It is our statement number 4. There are 2 mome rafts per Jabberwocky. So we want to get rid of more rafts and end up with Jabberwocky. So it said that there are 2 to 1. We get rid of that unit and we're ready to go. So this is where it might be handy to write what you have left on the top over what you have left on the bottom. So I have 5 times 1, and this simply is just going to let you compare with other people what they got, check your work, see if you missed anything, that sort of thing. I almost always do this when I have a whole bunch of conversions. Over, oh, in my unit, all my other units cancel out. So now I have 1 times 1 times 1 times 200 times 5 times 5 times 1 times 2, and there's no unit because all the units on the bottom have canceled out. So when I multiply that all out, that's the next step of our dimensional analysis problem. I get 80,000 Jabberwocks over 10,000. And you can divide that with your calculator, or you can remember from math that if a 0 is on the top and the bottom, you can get rid of it. So that gives us 8 divided by 1, which is 8 Jabberwockies. Good job if you got the right answer. If not, go back and check your work.